And so glad you're with us on this very busy Wednesday morning. I'm Melanie Hastings.
And I'm John Rogers. We're staying on top of several primary races in D.C. that have yet to be called. So come on over with me. Let's go over to the alert desk and go take a look at some of the results we're seeing right now, starting with D.C. Mayor, the Democratic primary for D.C. Mayor. Votes are still coming in. Again, this is ranked choice voting as of now, with roughly about 64% of the precincts reporting. Janese Lewis George is leading by 52.8%. Important to point out, though, we're still tabulating the results, as we've been telling you about for the past couple weeks. So even though it appears that she's crossed that threshold, we're still waiting for all the votes to be coming in to really determine if she's going to be the winner. So it's still too early to call that race yet. Meanwhile, for D.C. U.S. Delegate Robert White has clinched this win in the Democratic primary, beating the closest opponent there, Brooke Pinto. He'll be facing Republican Denise Rosado, who ran unopposed. And then another big race we're watching, D.C. Attorney General, the incumbent Brian Schwab, easily cruised over to victory against his opponent. He'll be facing Manuel Rivera in November.
And this morning, D.C. is on track to elect its first new mayor in more than a decade. Voters have cast their ballots in a high-stakes Democratic primary to succeed Mayor Muriel Bowser, who is not running for a fourth term. And 7 News' John Gonzalez is live in Northwest this morning with the latest on this mayoral race. John?
Melanie, good morning. And after months of campaigning, the race to succeed outgoing Mayor Muriel Bowser is now taking shape. And this morning, D.C. Councilmember Janese Lewis George has a pretty comfortable, significant lead over her former colleague, Kenyon McDuffie, in this Democratic primary. Now, we can tell you that things are still being tabulated, and it's going to be some time before things are official, but results released overnight show Lewis George with more than 50% of the vote, while McDuffie trailed with about 37%. However, election officials again continue to count remaining ballots, including mail-in votes. The Associated Press had not yet called the race overnight, but Lewis George addressed supporters and spoke about her vision for the city. This is a historic election for the district. When Mayor Bowser's term ends, it will mark the first time in 12 years that D.C. has a new mayor.
This moment is for those who refuse to surrender their hope in a government that works for all of us.
And tonight, the votes are being counted, and ranked choice votes and ballots are being tabulated as we speak. The reality is it's going to be a while before we know the results of this election. And I know you all love that, but it's going to be a little while.
So yeah, election officials say additional results will continue to be released in the days ahead as the counting process moves forward. So for now, Janese Lewis George holds this advantage at about 53% right now, but the final certified results, we are told, won't come until later this month. Reporting live, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
John, thank you. A live look from the White House now. President Trump has weighed in on the race for mayor of D.C. He's threatened a federal takeover of D.C. if Janese Lewis George wins. It's something she and Kenyon McDuffie are pushing back on.
I feel like the people of D.C. elect the mayor of D.C., and that's what it means to be a real democracy. And we're not going to get ice off our streets by fearing this president, and we're not going to defend our rights or home rule by complying in advance.
President Donald Trump doesn't get to decide who the next mayor of Washington, D.C. will be. The voters of the District of Columbia get to decide that. And what the voters of the District of Columbia want is somebody who is prepared on day one to fight back against Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress, and frankly, anybody wishing to threaten Washington, D.C.
Last Friday, Janese Lewis George's campaign was issued a $16,000 fine for allegedly violating D.C. campaign finance law. The Office of Campaign Finance claims the campaign illegally coordinated with a labor coalition called Safe and Affordable D.C. The coalition was also hit with a $4,000 fine over contribution limit violations. The coalition and campaign call the complaint inaccurate. They can appeal.